I'm going to show you the simple trick for taking your darkened white clay back to its original color. Let's get to it. Hey y'all, we're going to jump right into it. The other day I talked about the fact that these snowflakes yellowed in the oven. For comparison, this is the raw clay. This is a piece of baked clay that is still the correct color. So you see what I'm working with here. Now, I have noticed that on a computer or a TV, the colors and everything look a lot different than they do if you're watching on a phone or a tablet. So if you're watching on a computer like a laptop or a TV, then you may not can see the color difference here. I don't know. But there is a pretty significant color difference there. The reason that happened is because this was baked 4 times. Baking is, that's a long, complicated subject. If you want to learn more about baking, I would suggest that you look into the Polymer clay tutor. She has lots of videos here on YouTube. I will link her channel. She has great videos on baking. She's the one that taught me most of what I know about baking. Now, the reason I baked it 4 times is because I baked the front, then the back, then the edge, and then the signature. So that was 4 bakes. And I personally bake a little bit higher than the recommended temperature to make sure that my pieces are nice and flexible. So that's why this darkened. Now, there's something I can do about that. These pieces, well, let me show you. This piece, I hope you can see the difference in color. This is a piece that darkened. It's something I decided not to use, but this darkened pretty badly. And this is after I whitened it. Let's see if it's the same. See, this is even darker than, or is that? Yeah, that's the dark one. Okay. I thought this might have been the one I already bleached. But this is darker compared to that. And then that's after I bleached it. And this is another piece that I'm not using that got really dark. What we're going to do is bleach these pieces. If you're nervous about doing this, you can like mix water with your bleach. But I did a test on these 2 extra pieces right here. And they both came out fine. They're still nice and flexible. It didn't damage them at all. One of them I mixed water with to so the bleach wasn't quite so strong, and one of them I just put straight in the bleach. Just whatever you want to do, but you don't have to water it down. The bleach does not affect the color, only the white clay. So I'm going to leave this piece out so we can test the color. This is going to be my earring, so I don't mind leaving this one out for now. But that way we can see the color, the pink color, compare, the bleach to the unbleached. What else? What else? I don't think, now, I have not been doing clay like forever. I've only been doing it about 4 years. So none of my pieces are like really old, They're not like decades old. But I do have some that I have bleached that are a year or 2 old. Frankly, just about every time I use white, I bleach it. I have not noticed any adverse effects over the long term. Now, like I said, my pieces aren't 20 years old, but just in a few years, I've not noticed any, like it doesn't degrade the clay or anything like that. These pieces did not come out as dark, but they also were not baked as long because it was just the front and the back. But I probably will go ahead and bleach those anyway, just to make sure. Like I said, I'm leaving this one out. I'm going to bleach one of these and not the other, so we have something to compare that to. Now I'm going to put that in there because these I probably won't have to leave in the bleach as long. Alright, so I'm going to mix up my bleach. Like I said, I'm going to put a little bit of water in there because I couldn't tell that it worked any faster without the water. I'm probably going to have to do a couple of these to cover all of that. I might add a little bit more water than that. That bleach is like the no splash kind, so it's pretty thick. Alright, and then a little bit more water. And a little bit more bleach. As you can see, this is a very exact science. It's an exact formula, guys. Exact formula. Alright. Got that. Yep, all that's covered. And then I'm going to put just a little bit in this one. I hate the smell of bleach. I know a lot of people like it. They think it smells clean. I absolutely hate it. I mean, it just about really makes me sick. Let me know. Do you like the smell of it or no? I know most people do. What is that? Oh, a bubble. I thought something was there. It was a bubble. I know most people do like the smell of it, but nope, not me. So let me know what you think. Do you like it? Do you think it smells clean? Alright, so there's my very exact science mixture. I will let this set, especially if you're going to use straight bleach. You might want to check on this pretty often. But, I mean, those pieces that I tested, you know, they were in, or one of them was in just straight up bleach. And it was in there, like, overnight. And it was perfectly fine. But, you know, if you put, like, a lot of water in there, of course, it's going to take quite a bit longer for it to work. And I ain't got time to leave it in there for days and days on end, you know. But now, the first time I did it, I mean, I really watered it down. And it probably took 2 or 3 days to bleach it. Because I was afraid it was going to, you know, hurt my pieces. So, but it doesn't. What was I going to say? Fimo. Here a while back, I did try to bleach some Fimo. All of this is Primo. I bleached Fimo for the first time. And I have to say, it did not work as well on the Fimo. Let me see if I can find that piece. Okay, I found one of them. This is one of my Fimo pieces that I did bleach, but it didn't really make a big difference in it. What happened with this was I was using Fimo, but I had forgotten that in between using the Fimo, I baked a batch of Primo. So if you use both clays, then you know that Fimo bakes at quite a bit lower temperature than Primo. So I baked this at Primo's temperature, the higher temperature, and it darkened my white. And like I said, I bleached it, but it didn't really help. And it didn't, I mean, it didn't damage it, but there was like this weird residue in the bleach. So if you're going to try bleaching Fimo or really any other brand, these are the only two I've ever tried, is Primo and Fimo. So if you're going to bleach Kato or Cernit or anything like that, just do it on a scrap piece. Don't do it on a good piece. Just test it out on a scrap piece first, okay? Because I don't want y'all being mad at me because I messed up your piece, you know? But yeah, I mean, it didn't hurt it. It's fine. It didn't mess it up. It just didn't really do anything for it either. I mean, it might have whitened it just a little bit, but not enough to make a difference. And like I said, it had that weird kind of, I don't know, like there was something in the bleach after I bleached it. I don't know what it was. It was almost like a weird, sediment, I guess you would call it. So, I don't know. But it didn't hurt it. But just keep that in mind. I'm going to keep a check on this. And then I will come back and check in with you and see where we're at. It is 3:45. I did check on everything before I went to bed and checked on it several times yesterday, and there was basically no change. All right, that was, what did I say, 3:45 yesterday afternoon? It is now 11:20 a.m. Slept a little bit late this morning, plus the Trixie Monster had to be at the groomers. So yeah, so I'm just now getting around to doing the check-in. This is just plain water right here. So let's check this piece. Alright, so this is the piece we bleached. And that's the original piece. It's not looking like you can see much of a difference on camera. I can see a pretty big difference in person. That's the raw clay. And this is the other baked piece that was still white. It still looks a little dingy on camera, but it's not bad. Much better than it was. Okay, so that's that piece. And I know all of these, all of the solid white pieces are going to be beautiful. Yeah, see, that looks great. That might even be whiter than the raw clay. All right, so that's good. But there's always a but, right? The pink. Guys, I don't know what happened with the pink. I honestly don't know what happened. But it drastically changed color. I have done this so many times, y'all. I have bleached pieces so many times and never had a color change. Never. This background, it was supposed to be a marbled background, but I really went a little bit too far with it. But it was white mixed with fluorescent pink by Primo. And it was some pearl mixed with fluorescent. Anyway, the pink color comes from the fluorescent. This also has some translucent in it. Like there was translucent mixed with glitter, and that's how I did the marble. I don't know, guys. But this is the color this is. And that's the... I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened. But remember, this is one of the really dark pieces. It is still a little bit dark, but it's much, much better than it was. But I just don't know what happened to the color. So that's why I said make sure you keep a check on it. And I went to bed and left it. So yeah, you might want to do this early in the morning so you can keep a check on it during the day. Instead of waiting till 4 o'clock in the afternoon to do it and then not checking on it till, you know, lunchtime the next day. I've never ever, as many times as I've done this, I've never had my actual colored clay change color. But, you know what? The white part's white now, so. In this situation, I don't mind that the color has changed. That's not a big deal to me. I would rather the white be white and the background be a different color. And see, like this one went really funky. And some of them change more than others. I mean, like this one, it's just not showing up on camera what I'm seeing in real life. But this one is a lot more purpley looking than some of them. They almost turned to a very light fuchsia color. I don't know. Anything's possible with clay, right? Anything is possible. Now see, this one didn't change as much as this one. I don't know, y'all. It just did some weird stuff this time. Maybe, and if you look at this one's a lot more yellow than this one. So the one that I had the pink in the bleach was a lot more concentrated. So maybe that was it. So yeah, maybe I should have not done it quite so. Oh yeah, because I was going to say, but I did on my test piece, but my test piece wasn't pink. My test piece was only white. I didn't think about that. I should have done a test piece of the color. So yeah. And I thought about not just scrapping this video altogether. And then I thought, no. I want you guys to see what happened. So that you know it can happen to you. And what to possibly do to avoid it. And those things that I would do to avoid it would be check on it more often. And maybe not use bleach quite so concentrated. And definitely do a test piece. Yeah. So, I don't know. This was just a weird one. Plain old weird. It's plain old weird. I just don't know what happened. Thank you so much for watching. And don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. Okay, thanks. Bye.